Morning, everyone. It's great to welcome Premier Ford and Minister McCarthy to Perth-Wellington today, and to see so many people here and municipal partners, mayors behind us as well. Across rural Ontario, municipalities are doing the hard work of planning for growth and making sure our communities are ready for the future. As many of my municipal colleagues will know, I'm always happy to celebrate the completion of a sewer main or an upgrade to a wastewater treatment plant. It may not be the most glamorous infrastructure project a politician can open, but it's the most important, because at the end of that pipe is a home. And in that home will be a family building their future in our community, just as I am with my wife and our son Arthur. And that's why the Municipal Infrastructure Program matters so much. By investing in water and wastewater infrastructure, we're laying the foundation that allows rural communities like Mount Forest, Arthur, and many represented here today to continue to grow. I want to invite someone to the podium who has been working hard to address the Village of Arthur's wastewater challenges, Mayor Andy Lennox. Thank you, everyone.
Morning, everyone. Great to see you this morning on this beautiful sunny morning. On behalf of the Council, staff, and residents of Wellington North, I want to welcome everyone here to the place that we call home. Premier Ford, we're very pleased that you're able to join us this morning for this important announcement. I'd also like to welcome Minister McCarthy, MPP Rae, Mayor Davidson, Mayor Ehgoetz, and Mayor McKenzie. Today's announcement is an important step forward, not only for Arthur, but for the region as a whole. This investment will allow us to continue to move ahead with new housing and business development and ensure our community can grow in a responsible and sustainable way. While that growth happens locally, the economic benefits reach far beyond our borders, supporting the regional workforce and strengthening the broader economy. Municipalities carry much of the responsibility for community infrastructure, even when the benefits of growth are shared more broadly. That's why partnerships like this really matter, and why we sincerely appreciate the province's contribution. Working together helps ensure growth is well planned, properly supported, and built to last. Thanks very much. And with that, I would pass it off to Mayor Davidson.
Good morning. The Township of Mapleton has seen limited growth for the past 2 decades because of wastewater capacity issues. In 2025, we broke ground on a $42 million infrastructure investment through the establishment of Northern Maple Utilities, Inc., our very own municipal services corporation. Premier, this funding from the province's health and safety water stream will go towards replacing the Drayton wastewater pumping station and critical conveyance infrastructure. In conjunction with the treatment system upgrades, we are also protecting the quality of water on the Conestoga River. Our expanded and renewed wastewater system will unlock housing mid-2027. We are very thankful for the relationships we have developed with Ministers Surma, Flack, and Calandra. Each of them and their staff have provided us guidance as we move forward over the last several years. We also like to thank our close friend, MPP Matthew Rae. His ongoing support is fantastic for this area. We have a champion here locally. Thank you for investing in Mapleton. At this time, I'll invite Mayor Ehgoetz to make her announcement.
Good morning, everyone. It's really great to be here. I can't thank the Premier, Minister McCarthy, Matthew Rae enough for the money that we got for Perth East. On behalf of our council and staff and the residents, we are very grateful for the money that we're going to use in Milverton. We're going to refurbish one of our wells, and then we'll be able to expand our village. So on behalf of everyone, it's great to see all of you here this morning. I'm a little overwhelmed. I didn't expect quite all this, but it's great to be here with you and these gentlemen. And now I'll pass it on to Mayor Walter McKenzie.
Well, good morning, everybody. Premier, Minister McCarthy, I got I got to say this. We talked briefly in the back, Minister McCarthy, a well-known name in West Perth, being that it's the day after St. Patrick's Day. We have the capital of West Perth is Dublin. And there's a few people from Dublin that probably aren't around this morning. They're likely sleeping in. Anyways, the Municipality of West Perth is grateful for the Ontario government's support through more than $2 million in funding for the Herbert Street Sewage Pumping Station project. This much-needed investment will strengthen the critical infrastructure and help ensure the continued delivery of reliable wastewater services for our community. A significant step toward ensuring the long-term viability of essential services that support both our current residents and our future growth. Thank you, and at this time I'll turn it over to Minister McCarthy.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here the day after St. Patrick's Day. I'm still wearing a tie with green in it to keep up that spirit of St. Patrick's Day, and spring is not far away despite the cold today. Proud to join Premier Ford and my colleague MPP Matt Rae and our local mayors McKenzie, Lennox, Davidson and Ehgoetz. I'm honoured to be here also as Ontario's acting Minister of Infrastructure, while Minister Surma is on parental leave. In a time of global economic uncertainty and unwarranted U.S. tariffs that are impacting our workers and our businesses across Ontario, our Ontario government is protecting the province and investing in communities, including right here in Perth and Wellington. Now, through our most ambitious infrastructure plan in Ontario's history, which includes a nearly doubled $4 billion municipal housing infrastructure program, or MHIP, we have unleashed a wave of new builds that will deliver stronger water systems and better roads and bridges, all essential to making new housing possible and supporting existing housing. Since its launch in 2024, MHIP has already made some 800,000 new homes possible and protected some 375,000 existing homes from health and safety risks. Through the program's $875 million health and safety water stream, we are ensuring that communities can maintain and upgrade aging systems, providing safe drinking water and preparing for extreme weather events. I very much want to thank our municipal partners for their leadership and their partnership. By working together, we are protecting Ontario. We are building stronger and more resilient communities, and we are setting the stage for long-term prosperity. So I thank you all for being here today, and I would like to introduce and welcome our ultimate champion, Captain Canada, the Premier of Ontario, the Honourable Doug Ford.
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. And, you know, I love traveling the rural communities. They're salt-of-the-earth people, and I absolutely love it. And I want to thank Minister McCarthy for the kind introduction. You know, Todd was the Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. You still smell little Bushmills on you, a little Irish whiskey. I had a party last night. I think he just rolled in from the end of the party, but it was a great party. And it's great to be here in Kennel for today's announcement alongside, and I say this so sincerely, your local champion, Matt Rae. He's a champion down there. Everyone loves Matt, and he keeps all 80 caucus members kind of herding along in caucus meetings, but they absolutely love you, Matt. And the reason we're here is specifically when we talk about infrastructure. He's jumping up and down on the table and over here, and he's doing his job, I'll tell you that. And I want to thank all the mayors for joining us today. You're the backbone of these communities, and we'll be there to support you and always have your backs. As President Trump's tariffs take direct aim at Canadian businesses and workers, our government has a plan to protect Ontario. I always say I have many areas that I have to look after, but my number one area is I have to protect every single person. I got to protect their families, protect the businesses, and protect their communities, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're building a province that is more competitive, more resilient, and more self-reliant, so we can stand up to tariffs, economic uncertainty, and whatever else comes our way. Across Ontario, we're cutting red tape, removing duplicative permits and reporting requirements, streamlining approvals, and keeping taxes and fees low. Matter of fact, we're keeping taxes so low, we've never raised a tax. Think of this. We've been in this politics for 3 generations, 3 decades, probably longer. We've never, ever raised a tax. We will never, ever raise a tax. You know, I always say government has a spending problem. They don't have an income problem. What we're doing, we're reducing taxes, saving businesses and families up to $12 billion each and every single year, and 1.8 million working hours every year. That those 1.8 million working hours are filling out government paperwork, and those people can be reallocated somewhere more productive within the company. That is being reinvested into more jobs and bigger paychecks. We're breaking down internal trade barriers, building new pipelines, rail lines, airports, seaports, so we can find new trading partners and rely less on old ones. And we're powering economic growth by building the future of nuclear energy, including the first small modular reactors in the G7 and the first large-scale nuclear facilities in decades that will employ about 150,000 people. We're going to be spending over probably close to $200 to $300 billion building out energy for the future. Our government is also doubling down on our more than $223 billion plan to build, which is the largest plan of its kind in Canadian history. We're investing in roads, highways, transit, schools, and other critical infrastructure. Here in Perth-Wellington, we're investing $2.5 million to upgrade and repair the Listowel Memorial Hospital. Hospitals are critical to ensure it can continue to connect people in the community to life-saving care close to home. We've invested $12 million to add nearly 200 student and child care spaces at local schools. And we're investing $162 million to support road and bridge rehabilitation, intersection improvements, and highway expansion projects in the community, including the rehabilitation of Highway 6 between Kenilworth and Mount Forest, and the replacement of the South Saugeen River Bridge on Highway 89. We're making these investments to ensure families, workers, and businesses have the world-class services and infrastructure that they need to thrive in Perth-Wellington. That's why I'm delighted to announce today that our government is investing nearly $29 million to upgrade and rehabilitate water infrastructure in Perth and Wellington counties. As part of our municipal housing infrastructure program, we're expanding and upgrading the Arthur Wastewater Treatment Plant, the Drayton Sewage Pumping Station in Mapleton, and the Herbert Street Sewage Pumping Station in West Perth, and the reservoir in Perth East. These investments will increase resilience during extreme weather events, protecting more than 5,500 homes in the region and supporting the construction of hundreds more to keep the dream of home ownership alive for the next generation of families. This funding is part of $150 million we've invested in infrastructure across Perth-Wellington. My friend, that must be a record, $150 million. $150 million across Perth-Wellington County since 2024, making it one of the largest infrastructure investments in the region's history. And we'll continue to make historic investments in the services families rely on as we make Ontario the most competitive, resilient, and self-reliant economy in the G7. Again, I want to thank everyone here for their leadership in helping us build for the future. Thank you, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
We will now take questions from the media. Media can come to the microphone and state their name and outlet. Just a reminder, the format is one question and one follow-up. First question.
Mr. Premier, thank you for taking questions today.
Thank you.
Jeff Outhet, I'm a reporter with the Waterloo Region Record.
Hi, Jeff.
First question, school board trustees, your education minister has complained that they are too distracted and that students aren't progressing as fast as they should. I want to know if you have an intention to eliminate elected school board trustees sometime before the October election? And if so, why? And if not, why not? Or what would you like them to do better?
Well, first of all, not all school boards, but a lot of them are an absolute disaster. They're wasting money. They're ordering online. Imagine this, folks, if you get to pick up the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning and start ordering milkshakes for your family and putting on the taxpayer's bill, or going to Italy and spending over $100,000 on a trip and then going over there to buy $100,000 worth of beautiful Italian artwork for schools. You got to be kidding. Buying 5 screens, and God knows what they do with their 5 laptop screens, buying iPhone watches, and it was out of control. So the minister is reviewing it, and again, there's some really good school trustees, and then there's some that just absolutely abuse the taxpayers' money. The party's over with the taxpayers' money, and there's going to be accountability. So stay tuned, and the minister will be announcing that in the next short while. I just don't like painting a broad brush, because there's some really dedicated people, and then there's other school boards that are in massive, massive deficits because of mismanagement of taxpayers' money.
Thank you, Mr. Premier. Second question. Your government has expressed an interest in certainly reforming Niagara Regional Government.
Yes.
It's looked at Peel. It's looked at this region in the past. In Waterloo Region, we have 59 elected politicians. That's not as many as Niagara, but it's quite a few. Yeah. We have an elected chair, not an appointed chair, but the rumor in our region is that your government is going to appoint a chair to replace our elected chair and do some other intervention before October to change the municipal structure in Waterloo Region. So I want to ask you, what are your government's plans with the municipal structure in the region of Waterloo, with the elected chair currently, or any other plans you have to change that?
So we're reviewing right across the province, and again, our Minister of Housing will be announcing some changes. But it's always good to get rid of politicians. We have too many as far as I'm concerned. Give you an example in Niagara Region. Folks, for 500,000 people, they have 126 elected officials. I don't even think they know what they're doing there. 126. I get calls all the time. We have too many elected officials. To put it in perspective, the whole province has 124 MPPs. In Little Niagara Region, they have 126 elected officials, so we have to streamline it. If you ask someone who the regional councillor is, they probably couldn't even tell you, but they know who their mayor is, because the mayor is the most important. Local councillors are. So we're going to look at saving taxpayers' money, and then they go and start giving double-digit tax increases. Unacceptable. They're wasting money. So we're going to streamline that. But we said to the mayors, if you don't lead it, you don't want to do it, then that's fine. But I need a majority of the mayors to either go for 4 regions. I think there's 11 different townships there. Cut it down to 4 or 1. Well, a few of them melted like chocolate soldiers. And I always say it's like asking the turkeys to vote for Thanksgiving. They aren't voting for Thanksgiving, I can assure you that. So we'll step in and streamline it and make sure there's an efficient government running, because it's all about protecting the taxpayers' money.
Morning, Premier. Nick Powell from 100.1 The Ranch in Listowel.
Hi.
My question, just the one in regards to this funding for Wellington and Perth County. We're seeing a lot of numbers here, population growth by 2050, the numbers that are growing, this investment in terms of, let's say specifically just for housing and lowering costs. We've got people that are either moving here, they're working here, whether settle down here, grow up here, whatever it may be, retire. Yeah. For this funding, what does that mean in terms of housing, from single family to new housing builds?
Yeah, I see that. When I go into rural communities, more and more people are moving out here. I have one of my great OPP officers that live out here. It's beautiful, number one. Raise a family, it's incredible. And the cost of living to build a home's a little less expensive. When I was driving along, I was asking my assistant to pull up the cost of homes here. They're still pretty high. I was actually shocked. But why else? You know, I'd love to live out here. It's gorgeous. So we're going to continue investing in the future, investing years down the road. And as long as Matt is here, you're going to have a strong voice down at Queen's Park to continue to invest. And it all starts with infrastructure. You know, the foundation, folks, of our infrastructure our healthcare, our education is one single thing that drives it. That's our economy. And that's why we have to create the environment and the conditions for companies to come here and invest. We have the best people, the smartest people anywhere in the world. I'll put Team Ontario up against anyone and we'll kick their butts. But the government has to create the environment, all three levels, to make it affordable for companies to come here, because I'll tell you, it is competitive out there. Oh my goodness, it's competitive. But in saying that, we've seen $213 billion of investment since we've been in office here in Ontario. As the previous government chased 300,000 cars out of our province, you go down by Windsor and all they saw is taillights going across the border. Now we see headlights coming in. There's 1 million more people working today than there was when I got elected in 2018, because you have to create that environment. And I always say again, government has a spending problem, not an income problem. And we have a simple philosophy in our government. Let's put money into the folks' pockets here, right, rather than gouging them, because all you do is you stick your hand in your pocket, you got the government's hand in there, put it in their pockets. They might do things they might otherwise not be able to do. Maybe put a little renovation on, maybe put a down payment on a home, go out and buy your kids some clothes or go out for dinner. And you do that with companies, you cut taxes for them. They're going to invest in their people, they're going to invest in new equipment, into technology, and into infrastructure, and that will create more jobs. This is economics 101, folks, but 99% of the politicians across this country don't get it. They'd rather tax you to death. And I can't stand taxes, and government drives me crazy. Next question. Thank you.
Good morning, Claude Boudreau. I'm pulling double duty for CBC and Radio Canada today.
Oh, good.
Looking ahead to the budget.
Yes.
Last year seemed to be really emphasized on your tariff response. What do you see as what will be most important this year?
It's all about protecting communities, protecting their jobs. It's about the economy, making sure people can bring home a paycheck. It's absolutely critical. And this tariff fight isn't over. We're still battling it out, but in the meantime, we're diversifying trade around the world. There's two things that President Trump did that was good. He united the country, and he woke us all up. And now that we're wide awake, there's nothing that can stop us. Folks, we could be the wealthiest, richest, most prosperous country in the entire world. You know, we have the critical minerals that nowhere else in the world. We had a big trade show called PDAC, the largest in the world for critical minerals. We have hundreds of billions of dollars of critical minerals we're going to get out of the ground with Ontario workers. We're going to refine it with Ontario workers, and then we're going to ship it all over the world. Nuclear. We're leading the world in nuclear, and everyone needs energy. I talked to our friends south of the border, and yes, they are our friends. There's only one or two guys that want to come after us, but I love Americans. I love the governors down there. They need our energy. We power homes and businesses, 1.5 million homes and businesses in Michigan and up in Minnesota and New York State. They want more of our energy. So we can ship in the energy that we have. We're building out 16,000 megawatts. And I'm going to simplify this because they had to simplify it for me. The first thing I said is, how many homes can we power? So 16,000 megawatts equals 16 million homes. We don't have 16 million homes, but we have massive factories that want to come here and invest. We have data centers that are coming here that need the energy. And any leftover energy, we'll sell it at a little premium, make some money, and ship it down to our friends south of the border. So that's one of our key negotiating tools. But what we have to do on critical minerals, we went from, I think, 17th in the world to make it easy enough to get a permit, up to number 2 in the world. Because before, folks, it used to take 15 years of red tape, regulations. The feds would have every single regulation you can think of. We got that out of the way. Now it's less than 24 months. And that's why PDAC, the mining show, was packed from all over the world. They want to invest here in Ontario. And that's what we're going to do to drive the economy.
Thank you. In regards to the OPP report that was released yesterday, Do you think it's enough to restore public confidence in the Toronto Police Service, considering they never contacted Mr. Zamir or his lawyer?
Yeah, well, it cleared the police officers, and maybe the judge should apologize for accusing them of everything under the sun. That's the first step. Full disclosure, I love our police. I love all our police services across the province. I love our OPP because, folks, they put their lives on the line every single day. When you need help, who do you call? You call 911 for the police, and they show up. And we've lost a lot of police officers since I've been in office. Basically a few of them were just absolutely assassinated, and others were killed. So I support our police, and I think they do a great job.
This will be the last reporter.
Good morning, Mr. Premier. Jamie with City TV. A couple of questions here. First question is, the letter that you sent out to the other premiers asking about electric vehicles, given the fact that our economy wants to grow in the electric vehicle sector, just explain the conflict or clear it up for me.
Yeah, so I sent a letter to Francois Legault in Quebec and over to Premier Eby in BC. You know, we're a big auto manufacturing province or jurisdiction, and our country's population is not large enough to consume all the autos we do. So they have certain rules. You have to hit certain emission caps, and all the environmental stuff. Don't get me wrong, folks. I'm all about the environment, but if we keep doing this GHG, greenhouse gases, and everything, and the other guy south of the border, that 90% of our vehicles get shipped, and he gets rid of everything, how do you compete? So all I'm asking is for them to get rid of all their environmental requests on cars, and let's start moving forward. That's what we need, and we need to support our auto workers from coast to coast to coast. It's like me telling Premier Eby, by the way, we aren't buying your beautiful lumber anymore. No, you just keep it over there. So it should be Team Canada, not Team XYZ province. We need to stick together as a country, and we're, united we stand, divided we fall.
Still unclear, because our economy wants to grow in the EV sector, but I don't want to burn up a question about that. The next question is the wrapping of the statues at Queen's Park for this upcoming demonstration at Queen's Park, but also in Vaughan, there was a homeowner that shot a suspect. He showed up in hospital later on, and it was declared that the homeowner did have his guns stored properly and ammunition properly. And I'm wondering if we can also react to that. So that's two questions,
that's
I understand.
So
I'm trying to get three questions in before Ivana gets back.
Not a problem. Okay, so let's talk about the protest. Anyone who wants to protest, you come to Queen's Park, do cartwheels, jump up and down, whatever you want to do. Do not vandalize. Do not vandalize those statues. They're historic. And if you do, you're going to get charged. Unfortunately, they got to wrap them. I spoke to the speaker this morning, and she said that they have to wrap them up. It's ridiculous. Protest all you want, but don't vandalize people's property, the taxpayers' property. As for the person that was defending his family, he was a legal gun owner, was stored properly, congratulations. Yeah, I'm glad you shot the guy. Teach us the rest of these robbers, and I encourage everyone out there that's a legal gun owner. Someone's going to come in and try to kill you and kill your family. Remember, it was just last week, Jamie, one guy got shot because he was trying to protect his kids. Well, these guys, they need to be shot, as far as I'm concerned. You're coming through the front door to hurt your family. I'll never forget the one family that the man was protecting his 4-year-old kid, and his child, I should say, and there was 3 other children there and his wife, and they assassinated him right in front of his kids. Like, these ruthless, they need to rot in jail for the rest of their lives. Congratulations for shooting this guy. Should have shot him a couple more times, as far as I'm concerned. And everyone should be out there, legal gun owners. And by the way, the federal government, they're spending so much time on going after legal, law-abiding gun owners that safely store their guns, safely store their ammunition, their hunters or their sport shooters. I have an idea. Rather than wasting hundreds of millions of dollars going after legal gun owners, why don't you spend that hundreds of millions of dollars going after the bad guys? You know, they always want to protect the bad guys. The judges always want to protect the Charter of Rights. How about the Charter of Rights of the people to keep them safe, rather than always protecting these criminals? I'm just sick and tired of it, and I can tell you, folks, I talk to a lot of people. I get 1,000 calls, I'm not exaggerating, 1,000 calls and messages a day. People are done with this. They're done with all these crazy protesters and nasty people and breaking into homes and stealing cars. We all grew up here. Did we experience this 10 years ago? No, we never experienced this. People in Toronto never experienced this. I'm guessing about 5 years ago, you know, people just were so brazen because we have some great judges, but we have some really weak-kneed judges letting these criminals out on bail, not once, not twice, 4 or 5 times, just to go, okay, Johnny, go out and break into the next house. They're violent criminals, and we're going to hold them to account. And thank you for getting me going, Jamie, because, but it's the truth. What I'm saying, a vast majority of the people are thinking in the province. I can assure you of that. So anyways, folks, God bless you. We'll always have your backs, and we're going to keep moving forward. Thank you so much.